It's time to talk about Overwatch.
Featuring some other 20 chumps.
Today I want to talk about a discussion that's been had a lot lately around a lot of games, but it's really super duper relevant to Overwatch. Is Overwatch worth $60? Or like $40, I don't know, whatever you decided to pay for it. I mean, money is like friggin' awesome, and we don't want to waste it on things that we might not like use it on. So, I mean, you should probably invest it wisely. I mean, people like me, we have none of it. So, when deciding to buy a game, it's kind of a big thing weighing on our brain holes. We gotta make a good decision with our money. So, is Overwatch a good decision? I mean, there's like a pretty vocal minority of people who say that Overwatch should go like a free-to-play or like a CSGO model. And what I have to say to them is...
fucking stop.
I've got two pretty serious reasons as to why I believe Overwatch is worth every goddamn penny you spend on it. Maybe not for everybody, but like the $60 that you put into it is probably gonna be a good investment if you enjoy fun. So number one, I spent about $60 on The Witcher 3. And I even got like the season pass because I'm a sheeple. So I guess you could say I spent $100, but I'm gonna say $60 for this example. Now I have literally hundreds of hours in that game. And I would say that however many hours of wage slavery or dick sucked or whatever people do with jobs, I wouldn't know, there are no jobs up here. Hundreds of hours for $100 of investment, super worth it. I think most of us can agree with that premise. So I think, though, Overwatch could hit this threshold pretty easily for me. I mean, I racked up 15 hours during the 36-hour quote-unquote beta weekend, and another 30 hours during the open beta this week. Given permanent access, 100 hours? No fucking problem. Because this boils down to a simple idea, which I think is weirdly overlooked. When it comes to Overwatch and other multiplayer-only games, people seem to be more concerned with what's in the box, characters, maps, quests, etc., than what they get out of those things. There's no question that The Witcher has more stuff in it than Overwatch. More regions, more people, more talking, all that. But unlike The Witcher, and pretty much like Ted Cruz, Overwatch is all killer. There is less stuff, but it's immediate fun entirely. That's how Overwatch can derive as much enjoyment as The Witcher could, depending on your taste, of course. The Witcher spent more times with assets and world stuff and areas to explore, but I'd say a similar amount of time went into designing the razor-sharp, crazy gameplay of Overwatch. And I'd pay $60 each for experiences that can give me a lot of fun hours, no question. Now, to my second point, and this one directly addresses the people who are like, it should go with the CSGO model and be cheap, and then you buy keys, or it should be free to play and you can buy characters. No, no more! I am only one man, and like a Dark Eldar play toy, I can only take so much. I mean, we're getting like 8 MOBAs a week at this point. Seriously, we have this massive pile of these free-to-play microtransaction-driven competitive multiplayer games, which is like a whole video talk in itself. Seriously, developers, we have enough. Please stop. Overwatch is this incredible breath of fresh air. A game where I don't have to spend like a week unlocking something, or spending money to access certain maps, or buying keys! Keys! CSGO, stop making me buy fucking keys and then giving me a 6-cent Tech 9! Having a game that sheds like this massive modern focus on microtransactions feels fucking great! It's a game where all the maps and future characters are free for everyone. No fractured player base, no OP bullshit, just a good fucking game with no other concerns. And that's what makes Overwatch so friggin' great. I mean, there's skins, and thus far unlocking them is super easy, and they might eventually implement microtransactions for cosmetics, but they haven't confirmed that yet. But we don't need another buy-to-play cheap shooter that supports itself on a constant stream of microtransactions. This is something I think that the entire multiplayer shooter, multiplayer competitive game genre that has cropped up recently needs to consider. Games that could just be themselves and be a fun game and don't need to latch onto all of this long-term service idea. I think games as services is a thing that is useful, but I don't think it needs to be every single game. Games as services is a totally different thing. I'm going to talk about it another time, but I think that these games need to find their identities in their gameplay and not in attaching that gameplay to some outdated microtransaction model because long-term service ideas. So back to the question at hand. Is Overwatch worth $60 for what it is? I would say absolutely it is. It's more than the sum of its parts. There might not be a huge amount of stuff in the box, but all of that stuff is focused and killer. It takes out a lot of the filler and makes an awesome game out of it. And that, I think, is more than worth $60. Because not every game needs to be a sprawling universe, and not every game needs to be a long-term microtransaction service deal. I would say that Overwatch is more than worth $60. And yes, I get it that comparing The Witcher and Overwatch is like apples and oranges. I'm just talking about like content, like the density of stuff, and the amount of fun you can have with said stuff. It's not a big deal. But either way, I think more games need to pick up on this bandwagon of making a game that's focused and knows what it wants without having to tack on stupid crap on the side. But I think that's a totally different rant. I've like touched on 3 different things I want to rant about in this one video. So let's play Overwatch, have fun. It's definitely worth $60, and anybody who says that it isn't, well, I mean, they just probably want it for free. Thank you very much for watching this little rant on Overwatch. I do this a lot, don't I? Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it, though. I enjoy venting and talking about this kind of stuff. Today's episode is brought to you by my wonderful Patreon subscribers. I don't have any new ones to shout out because I've run out. But yeah, they're helping me bring this together. It's awesome. And of course, my viewers like you. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It means a huge amount to the channel, helps us grow and be awesome and continue to make even cooler videos. And as a great philosopher once said, keep your stick on the ice.